It's not a good sign. I may not make it back home. Hey, Tater. Welcome back to the Sleeper Dude channel. This is a car that some of you may not even know about if you haven't been watching the channel for a long time. So this is my 1989 Super Coupe Thunderbird that we switched over to a dual port cylinder heads off of F-150. So this is a 3.8 V6, originally came supercharged, and we converted it to turbo, like an eBay turbo. And the car makes almost 400 to the back on the dyno. Runs good, a little bit laggy, but it's got an aftermarket cam in and stuff. But I've been having trouble with this thing for like a year now. It drives perfectly fine, but if you get it into boost, it will immediately pop and backfire. And I data logged it, and it's dropping fuel pressure and going lean, which is very dangerous for a turbocharged engine. So my plan is to put a new fuel filter on it, because I've done some research, and it's a very common thing when you switch to ethanol to stop up your fuel filter or ruin it, because ethanol breaks stuff loose in your old fuel system and your old fuel tank. They say the most likely time for it to happen is when you just put the car together. Hopefully this is going to fix our issue. It's like a $10 fuel filter. Maybe that'll fix a problem I've had for like a year and a half. Let's put the filter in there. I'm not going to take it out and show you what it's doing. If you go back and watch our video where we went to rod running this car, it popped getting on the interstate on the way back because I don't want to hurt the engine. If you floored it, it'd go to build boost and then it'd pop, lean pop, and shut down basically. So it's basically been a turd for the last year because I can't get on it. And I want to get on it. So let's see if we can fix this and get on it. Doggone it. So the fuel filter on these Super Coupes is up under the passenger side frame rail. And it's got a guard over it to keep it from getting hit by stuff. Thankfully, this car has no exhaust going towards the rear, so there's nothing in our way anywhere back here. I'd like to eventually put an intercooler on this car and turn the boost up. The original plan was to try to make like 600 horsepower with this car, and it actually surprised me that it made almost 400 just running hot air. I think the inlet temps were like 280 degrees. That bolt head is messed up. But I think it can make quite a bit more if we turn the boost up. Maybe I can like hammer it on there, huh? Look at that. Perfect. Working out here in the old shop. This is mainly used for storage of vehicles now. Well, here it is. And these, I don't think I have to have a special tool. All I gotta do is pop these little plastic clips out. It comes with new ones. I think the ethanol, aside from breaking particles loose from your fuel tank, you know, old residue and junk, I think they also break down the filter element, and you're really not supposed to run like a old school paper element fuel filter. So I probably need to look into another option there. There's that one. Probably should cycle the fuel pump a few times just to clear the lines out, just in case there's something behind here. This is actually a pretty good survivor car. It's got good interior and junk. If this isn't it, I'm not sure, because I guess our new pump could have went bad. It could be fuel lines being the issue, like swelling shut, but I think this car has hard plastic lines. I wouldn't think they would do that. If it was a rubber line, I'd be more worried. Well, it seems to flow. It's not a good sign. Let's cycle the fuel pump. Well, it definitely shot some fuel out. I didn't see it. Oh. I unknowingly just soaked the floor with ethanol. So the pump is working, which we knew that. It does run and drive. It just doesn't have enough fuel to go fast. So let's put the filter in and see what the results are. At least I can lay in fuel now. That's nice. So this side says inlet. Put our retainer in here. This is too good of a car to not be driving it. That's like a big thing I've been trying to do lately, is getting more of these projects I've had for a few years actually to the point of driving, you know? It's a big deal to me. I don't like having unfinished projects sitting around everywhere. I mean, obviously what I do for a living, I'm gonna have unfinished projects sitting around, because if I don't have unfinished projects, I have no videos to make. Some of these ones that are been long-term projects that are close, we've spent a bunch of money on parts and stuff and time on them. I just want them to be done. There we go. I don't do well with having a bunch of things sitting around that I know I need to fix. It doesn't sit well with me to have cars like this that I'm not driving currently that have a issue. I gotta fix it and get it done. It's kind of a funny story. This car, I had just decided I was going to sell like the Starlet and the LTD wagon, and I had some issues with my GTO, and I was like, I'm going to sell it. I decided I'm just going to have one project car, and I'm going to really take my time with it and do it the way I really want to. And then that was like the same time that YouTube took off for me. And I was like, well, I guess I'm not going to have just one project. We kept it and drove it, and I just never had to put my intercooler on there if I wanted, and turned it up as high as I wanted to, which may be a good thing. The bottom end is stock. All right, let's see if this works. I love these old school boost gauges from the 80s cars. Hopefully our battery's still up enough. Will it start here? Ethanol does not like cold weather. Hey. What a good car. I switched our dash around to where it shows fuel pressure now right there. This thing has always had great oil pressure. Looks like everything's working fine so far. I actually have the boost turned down right now because I thought, well, if I turn it down, it, might be all right, and just drive at a lower boost level. I can't remember what the level is right now. I think it's like 8 pounds or 10 pounds, something like that. We were at 17 pounds before. It shows I'm out of fuel just about, so I may need to go get fuel while we're out. This car drives good. It's such a solid car. I put a lot of new bushings in it. This is like before I started videoing everything I do, basically. All right, it didn't pop yet. That was it. Yes. Man, it's been over a year since this car has done that. It went over 10 pounds just then. Well, let's go put some fuel in it, because it's showing to be like a quarter of a tank. All my cars seem to have like a floaty fuel gauge. Alternator's not charging. Watch my fuel pressure. Hit 13 pounds there. Okay, maybe we fixed it. That makes me happy. It's showing the fuel pressure to be low, but it's probably just the parameters are wrong. I don't know what the factory fuel pressure would be on this car. My alternator is not charging, even though I took it to a rebuilder and they told me it was good. That's unfortunate. I may not make it back home. Made it to the gas station, but we don't got a lot of volts. And every time it drops out of charge, fuel pressure goes down. So we gotta figure out this alternator. That good race gas for 238 a gallon. I hope it makes it home on 11 volts. Well, it took 13.5 gallons, so it must have definitely been low. Please start. Oh, we gotta get it home. 10.7 volts. And I got like quite a drive to get home. I'm almost scared to get on the interstate. I'd rather break down on the back road, but I'm gonna have to stop more too. Seems if I rev it higher, like right there I got 11.8 volts. It seems the higher I rev it, the more it's trying to work. And she's not sputtering anymore. That's weird. Like, I could blow straight through that fuel filter, no problem. But obviously it was a restriction. So if you're going to switch to ethanol, you really need to check your fuel filter, especially if you're putting it into a used fuel system. Definitely wasn't my problem. I actually learned this from Doug at Motion Raceworks, his Tech Tuesday videos he used to do. He was talking about fuel filters, and he's like, these guys build like drag week cars, and they get on the track and they're like, the car falls on its face, and they don't know why, and he always says check your fuel filters. And he said usually on like a new build like this, especially if you switch it to ethanol, it's really bad to ruin the fuel filters, especially if it's a paper one. So I need to look into find like a steel mesh one or something. I don't know. They probably make adapter fittings. I could probably get an aftermarket filter and snap it in there. Solved one problem. The other problem is still the issue. So I think it may be there's like a 2-wire plug on top of the alternator, and that goes to the factory harness. That may be turned on by the stock computer to tell it to charge. If so, that could be our issue, is it not getting a signal to charge. So I may experiment with that if I can make it home. See if we can send some voltage to it and maybe turn it on. I know LS alternators are that way. It's not charging anymore. I don't know what voltage a Holley Terminator X shuts off. we're down to 10.7 volts, and it's still good. It's not showing any signs of fuel starvation now. These things have a 273 gear in the rear, which I love for like an interstate driving car like this. And they have the same transmission as an F-150 had. I can't remember the brand name. So it's got a really beefy transmission with overdrive and a 273 gear. So they love the interstate. I mean, we really beat on it when we first got it done at Ford Fest, and it just took it like a champ. I mean, the only thing I think we had was a belt come off. I wish I would have known more about some of the Holley tuning and the safeties, because the reason we didn't do good on the quarter mile, aside from our 60-foot time, was it was pulling 17 degrees of timing at the end of the track because of air inlet temps. And I would have turned that safety down a little bit from there if I would have realized it. Guys, we have made it home. And it's got 11.2 volts, so it's doing something here and there. I unplugged this and I put a power in the ground, tried everything I could. Nothing seems to be turning the alternator on, so I'm gonna have to research some more. What's the voltage at?
It was at 10.4 when I got out of the car.
I'm just gonna have to put it on a battery charger. 10.2 volts.
You're dropping quick.
Every time it would charge, the fuel pressure would bump up, and every time it stopped charging, the fuel pressure would go down in the red.
Oh.
Yeah, but even with the fuel pressure in the red, it didn't pop on me.
Well, that's good.
Yeah. May just have to strap the generator to the back of it and run this, you know, take the place of the alternator. Well, guys, it's several months later now, just the way my life is. Finding time to work on simple things like this seem to be really hard. We just stay super busy with the main channel stuff. If I remember correctly, when we did the whole turbo swap, split port head swap, Terminator X, I think his alternator was making a bearing noise, and I bought a new one from Wrong Auto. So I took this to the local rebuilder. They tested it, and they said that it was good. But the problem with that is, hey Tater, it works fine when you first start the car up and start driving, and then as you drive, it stops working. So I just went to the local parts store and bought a name brand alternator for it. Took like a week to get it because these are 8 rib. They were only made for Super Coupes, so they're not easy to get a hold of. This is what stopped us from driving this on Power Tour a couple years ago. So I'm gonna swap this out and hopefully this works, because I don't like having a car that I can't drive. It's early in the morning. Kids haven't even left for school yet. All right, there we go. This got a $40 core charge, so I've got to turn this back in. As long as this new one actually works. Make sure you unhook your battery, guys, because this main alternator lug here will for sure short out and burn your whole shop down. Oh, it looks better, doesn't it? This car, I think the only car I've ever had where I put it on the dyno and it surprised me. We made like 370 on the chassis dyno, and that was with me not even doing anything with the tune-up, just like guessing at it. I think we definitely could have hit 400 if we would have done a little tuning and had some time to do it. Oopsie, wrong way. So that is a 16. Top bolt's a 14, and the tensioner is a 18, and then this is a 10. You gotta have your whole toolbox, typical Ford. Ford trucks were the worst. Like, to take a door panel off, you literally had to have like 6 different sizes. 4.5 millimeter, 5.5 millimeter. Tools that a lot of people don't even have. Man, I hope this works. This car is really fun to drive when it drives. All right, let's hook the battery up and see how it charges. It hadn't even been started in a month. We got volts. 56 degrees this morning. As long as that number stays in the 14s, we'll be good. We're a couple miles in, it seems to be doing good. Hopefully this is finally fixed this car where I can drive it. I just think it was a cheap alternator. I think that's all it was. It works sometimes. That's why the rebuilder didn't think it was bad. Somebody tell me in the comments what that could be, because I really don't know. Well, it charged the whole way here. I think we're fixed. Let's get our $40 back. Well, there you go. We made it back home. We got our $40 core charge back, which is nice. It's charging, it's fueling. So the two lessons we learned here is if you have a brand new build, you probably should change your fuel filter after test driving it, especially if you're running ethanol. It's very important. Might should not run a paper element filter with ethanol. And also, don't buy your alternators from Wrong Auto. Like, buy a quality alternator from a reputable source, and you'll just have less trouble. So learn from my mistakes, guys. Thanks for watching the Sleeper Dude channel. Check out our main channel, Sleeper Dude. Check out our website, thesleeperdude.com. Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok, SleeperDude88. Thanks for watching.
Official merchandise only available at thesleeperdude.com. Get yours today. We got new shirt designs. We got kids artwork. We got stickers, posters, hats. We give you guys the best price possible and don't beat you up on the shipping. So go check it out at thesleeperdude.com. Tell them Marge sent you. Okay, cut.